winter in Wyoming, and it's about to be winter over half of the United States with that cold front coming in. But this Saturday, we could be as low as minus 13 degrees. And I thought, we need to be prepared. This is Sandi at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. And as you can see, we are still in Wyoming. It is much too snowy and icy on the roads for us to go down to Arizona right now. And so we're going to endure that cold weather this weekend for sure. How do we prepare for minus 13 degrees? And that's not even the wind chill factor. I thought we'd have a little fun too. In the comments, if you will say what you think our coldest temperature on Saturday night will be, and you want to tell me what the coldest wind chill temperature we're going to have Saturday, I'm going to give some prizes away. The one that correctly guesses the coldest temperature we have Saturday night, and the one who correctly guesses the coldest wind chill temperature that we have on Saturday night. Both people will win 3 pair of socks. Now, don't those look warm? There's a lot of different colors to choose from, so I'll connect with the winners, and Amazon will send them directly to you. When you think of cold weather, you have to really break it down on how you prepare. Heating is a major factor. That is probably one of the #1 things to do. How are you going to heat your home? We heat with a wood stove. And actually, probably for the last 15, maybe even longer than that, years in the wintertime, we've only used our wood stove. We haven't ever used our cove heating that we have. Unlike us, a lot of you do not heat your houses with wood. And you might use electricity, you might use propane, you might use gas. If you have propane, is your tank full? If you live someplace like a trailer, a camper, an RV, and those temperatures are coming, you may need to wrap your pipes just to insulate them so that your water doesn't freeze. Now, some people are under the delusion that your pipes cannot freeze in a house, but that is not true. Say you don't heat your basement and your pipes are down there. You have extreme temperatures, your pipes could freeze. So it doesn't take very long. You can buy what they call heat tape, and it can literally wrap around there, and it will keep it warm. Some people just use the foam insulation that pops around the pipes. Do what you need to do to be safe, to be warm. If it's going to be extremely cold and you're afraid of maybe pipes freezing, a trick to do is just let that water just barely drip out. And I know you're wasting water. You can have it drip into a bucket that you can use for your animals or for yourself later, but it will help it so it won't freeze. Just that little dripping of that faucet will help because it has that constant water going through, so it's not as likely to freeze. If you have a heating system that's either electric or gas, have you changed your filters? It doesn't cost a lot of money to change a filter, and you will get better temperatures, cleaner air, and all around, it's a good thing to do every single winter. What are you going to wear when it's 13 below zero? Now, our coldest temperatures will be at night. Will I have to go outside? I hope not. But what if I did? Or what if I have to just go out during the day and it's minus 5 degrees? How am I going to layer? And I've talked about this in videos before. The key to staying warm, staying safe when you are outside is to have layers. So I'm going to show you my layering system. Just remember that base layer is your wicking, because your body will perspire, especially if you're doing any kind of activity. And so that's why I like to use that insulating layer first. Then I'll put my sweaters on. Some of them have wool. Some of them are just really warm sweaters. Sometimes I'll put a vest over top of that before I put my jacket on. Layering. I like to put a scarf around my neck before I put my knitted scarves on. Depending on the temperature, then you decide what kind of hat that you have. We have full masks too, that you only see your eyes, that can really help if I have to be outside for a long time. You want to minimize your exposure outside. Even if you have to turn your temperatures down in the wintertime, I know it's so expensive that you're only having it set at 50, 55 degrees. You don't want your pipes to freeze, but you want to be warm. Layer inside. There's nothing wrong with having multiple layers inside. If you get warm, you take one of those layers off, and it helps with the extreme cost of energy right now. What about food to have on hand? Now, when you get extreme temperatures, there are things that can happen, especially if there's any amounts of ice. You may lose power, like electricity. Sometimes it's better to just stay in 1 or 2 rooms in your house. Shut the doors on the bedrooms. Sleep on the couches so that you can stay warm in a small area. The weather passes. We don't live in an area that we're going to have -13 for a very long time. Now, I do remember when the kids were little, we had about 3 weeks and it never got above 0. That was unusual. And there was a lot of side effects to that extreme cold for such a long time. Have you insulated your fruit trees and your garden plants that you want to make sure that they're going to stay safe during that cold period? Straw or hay is a good thing to insulate around the base of fruit trees. If you have layers of snow like we do already, that snow is a great insulator. And that will help it when the temperature fluctuates, especially if it's going to fluctuate from very high to very low in just a day or a matter of hours. That can be very stressful on your trees. Now, if you are in a place where it's nice right now, but you are going to get dipping cold temperatures, water your plants and your trees today. Then take straw or hay. If you don't have that, use newspapers. Anything that can insulate that base of that tree. Because when there's extreme changes in temperatures that are very quick, it can literally kill not just the flower buds on a tree, but the leaf buds too. Hopefully they have been pretty much going into dormancy anyway, but it can be a real shock. Last year we had a very wide change of temperatures, and there were trees all over our county that died because it can so easily kill all those buds. Sometimes you're lucky and part of the tree will return, or all of the tree, but a lot of times, and throughout our county, there were just so many dead trees and some large dead trees. So it's not just the little ones. So protect your investment that you have on your property. Stay informed. If your electricity goes out, do you have a cell phone? Because your cell phone will work without electricity. Do you have a wind-up radio that you can still hear the news? Hopefully, this little vortex, the second little vortex that's coming through, will only last a few days. What do I have in my kitchen? Maybe the electricity isn't working, and your stove is electric. How are you going to cook your meals? If the electricity goes out, don't open and shut your refrigerator repeatedly. I know the kids will start to get bored. The electricity's out. There's no TV. There's no internet. Keep it at a minimum of opening and shutting your refrigerator so that those things stay cold enough so that that food is safe for you. But always have food on hand that you actually don't even have to cook. There are lots of canned goods that you don't have to cook. You can eat beans. They don't have to be hot. You can eat those. But here's some lists of things just to have. we have a wood stove downstairs that you saw, and we can literally cook on top of that. But we also have gas grills, we have a smoker, we have things that we have a pizza oven. We could cook things outside. Even if it was bitterly cold, we could do that. You have to be prepared. We want you to be safe. Who are your neighbors around you? If you have elderly neighbors, can you go over and knock on the door? Make sure they're safe. Do you have pets? What are you going to do to help protect your pets or your animals? One of the things we have is a heater that can go, it's a stock pond heater. It does use electricity. So if we were out of electricity, we wouldn't be able to use it. But it keeps water open. It doesn't let it freeze right there, so that your animals, birds, chickens, even you can get little heaters for your pet watering. So if your pet is going in and out, they will have fresh water out there also. One of the things to do if you have pets that go in and out, when they come back in, make sure that you're wiping their paws off, because depending on where they wandered around, they might get some salt in their paws. Just taking that snow out of their paws so that they can warm up properly. And just drying them with a towel can really help them. It can be very stressful if there's long periods of winter and cold weather on animals. So make sure that there's some kind of shelter for them. They have lots of food, they have fresh water, they have beddings, so that they can keep themselves warm. Because when your animals get sick, it can really be stressful, not just now, but later on they have been weakened and they're not as strong through the rest of the year. So as an owner of pets or farm animals, it's your responsibility to make sure that you have all that. So as we go into this next extreme cold weather, make sure that you comment and you guess what my coldest temperature is going to be and what my coldest wind chill temperature is going to be Saturday night. Make sure you're prepared. Go to the grocery store today. Get those things that you might need: milk, eggs, bread, butter, canned goods that you may not have, things that you can eat that don't need cooked, fruits, vegetables. Pull out your winter gear if you haven't already. What are you going to wear when it's going to be this cold? Do my pipes need some protection? Do I need to change the filter on my furnace? Do I have gas in my truck, my car, my vehicle? Are my tires okay? Is my antifreeze up? Is my windshield wiper fluid full? Just do a checklist, what you need to have done to be prepared. The weather will not last forever. But make sure that you have enough food and water for maybe 3-4 days, just in case you're stuck in your house and you can't go anywhere for a few days. You have everything that you need, that your family's protected, that they can have full bellies, and you can just enjoy the cold weather. This is Sandi, Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. How cold is it going to be in Wyoming? We'll see Saturday night. Bye, everybody.